Hi guys, this is Captain Duncan McCammon. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly, in my opinion, Battlefield 1's multiplayer. First, the good stuff. It is a World War I game with lots of really cool guns. The gun renderings are really stunning. Some of the guns I've played with so far that have been very fun to play with are the Selbstlader self-loading M1916 Marksman, the SMLE Mark III Marksman, the M1903 Marksman, the SMLE Mark III Carbine, the Gewehr 98 Marksman, the Automatico 1918 Storm version, the MP18 Optical, the 12-gauge autoloader, BAR M1918 Storm, Mondragon Sniper, M1911, PO8 Luger, and the C96. The setting is also very nice. They did a great job on the setting. There are about 5 maps in the game that are very well done. I like the touch of the ability to modify the sights. That's an excellent idea. Now for the bad stuff. Some of the other maps in the game need some rebalancing and or redesign because they play out badly. I mentioned specifically Foul Fortress and Suez, which are both fairly poorly designed. Some have managed to have fairly good games on them. This has not been my experience. In Foul Fortress, basically, whoever controls the fortress controls the game. This is very frustrating. Until you acquire the Dreadnought, it is very difficult to gain control of the fortress, or even to try to take the fortress. Even after you acquire the Dreadnought, it's hard to take and hard to hold. Regarding Suez, the main problem with the map is that it is too wide for its length, which can result in sniper kills on you, respawn, depending on where you respawn. It's very easy to die because of the convenient sand dunes providing cover for the snipers. And I've played the snipers as well, so I've been on both sides of this. This is a balancing issue. The other problem is that it's too easy for it to be a one-sided match. Whoever has the initiative and who can set up their defense teams very well is the winner. It's very difficult to trade points. It seems that whoever controls B point will dominate and win the match. This is also a balancing issue. I don't want too much of a seesaw battle, but such insta-kill events take much of the fun out of these matches. Some of these other maps include some nearly impossible to take bunkers. I'm not looking for too easy, but impossible is not fun either. Weapon balance needs to be fixed. For example, the support class is weaker than it should be, except for the mortar, which sometimes is a bit overkill. I don't want it nerfed, just a little less common of a loadout selection. The rocket gun in the assault class needs some significant work for its primary role. It's not quite enough to deal with some of the tanks. It's really hard to destroy the big ones, and it is hard to track the smaller ones due to their speed. In a sense, well, not in a sense, it's really hard, really easy to miss them. Sometimes the rockets bounce off the sides and do no damage to the vehicle. I think the assault class needs a middle range weapon for use on the larger maps. You will run into situations on the larger maps where the CQB weapons will not be effective. A middle range weapon is essential here and better fits my playstyle. The battle pack system needs rework. They only give 1 or 2 things, and they are generally not at all that useful. Weapon skins and or a puzzle piece for constructing melee weapons just aren't as exciting or beneficial. For example, Battlefield 4 had battle packs that contained 5 items that generally were useful in one way or another. And now for the ugly stuff. The stuff that needs to be fixed. There are some huge rendering errors that need to be fixed. Some of the soldiers wear these half-cape things that keep moving even when they're dead. Sometimes the soldier's body disappears, dead, went to respawn, but the cape is still there. Sometimes you die from explosives and your arm sticks in the wall and you're hanging there like a rag doll, looking like you're part of the wall. Sometimes, while lying prone in a building, you back up through the wall and get killed because the wall doesn't stop you. Part of you is sticking out of the building. There's an intermittent revive bug I've noticed where the gun behaves as if you had a gas mask on, or even if you didn't, or even didn't need it, denying you the ability to ADS. For those of you that have run into this problem, I have a tip for you. A tip that I found useful in dealing with this intermittent revive bug is to switch to your pistol and then immediately switch back to your rifle. This will fix the ADS problem. I discovered this by accident. And now for my recommendations. My recommendations for the future. There are some guns they missed that should have been in the game. I'm only going to mention one here. The M1917 Enfield rifle, as adopted by the US military, was the most numerous rifle in our military forces at the time. Though often overshadowed by the 1903 Springfield, it is also the rifle used by Medal of Honor winner Alvin C. York in his famous shootout with the Germans. A couple of guns they misrepresented in the game should be fixed. They may have thought they looked cool, but historically they are incorrect. Both of the guns I'm going to mention are the sporting versions of the 2 pistols in the game converted to carbines. The Mauser Scene 96 carbine and the POA Long Luga are incorrect because they are not what would have been issued at the time. Both guns would have been issued with detachable shoulder stocks, not fixed ones. It would be more exciting to see them modeled correctly. Also, the silhouette model in the in-game menu to select for your tanker or pilot class of the Mauser C96 carbine shows it with a 20-round magazine, which is incorrect for that specific variant. The 20-round magazine was developed for the variant, that variant was detachable. The original gun was fed with stripper clips and only had a 10-round capacity. My recommendations for both guns in the future, both guns should be re-rendered correctly as they would have been issued with their detachable shoulder stocks and no wooden forends. For the Mauser C96 carbine, it should be re-rendered with the detachable 20-round box magazine and the reload animation should be changed to reflect that it is a detachable and can be changed out. My recommendations for the battle packs would have to be unlockable through the battle pack system. Things that could be engraved on the side of your receiver, because this is something that they actually did. More skins for the vehicles, maybe skins for the individual pilot and tanker weapons, unlockable patches for units that actually served in World War I, unlockable irons and or scope reticles, keeping history in mind. It might be interesting, again, keeping history in mind, to be able to unlock specialized version of some of the guns in the game. One thing about the 1903 Springfield, I could have wished for a standard iron-sighted model without the Pedersen device. I was very much looking forward to shooting a standard 1903 and was disappointed that I didn't get it in the multiplayer. I would like to have them add this in the future. And these are my conclusions. This game is exciting and had a lot of good stuff. I can deal with some of the historical inaccuracies, but not all of them. There are a lot of things, especially bugs, that need fixing. I could have wished for a bit more ability to get acclimated to the game before jumping into the multiplayer. I could wish that the battle pack system was more interesting and more worthwhile.
Enemy tank over there!
I could have wished that the assault class suited my playstyle better, so it would have been more fun. I find myself gravitating towards medic, scout, and support because of that. In short, it's not a game that I would walk away from. It has plenty to keep me around, but I really think the game does need work. If you have any questions or comments about this subject, please leave them in the comments below. Please make sure your comments are polite and respectful of others. Constructive discussion in which there are differences of opinion is great and beneficial to the gaming community. But contempt for others is not edifying to anyone. And be nice to your poor host as well. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. This is Captain Duncan McHammond. Hold the line. Be strong and courageous.